All right, we're going to pick up where we left off. We only have one more thing that we need to model in our scene here is the base that gets put on the wall. We have this line in here. Let me turn on my Scene Explorer so we can see it. We have this line just as a line tool, but it's showing up in our viewport as a render. Okay. What we want to do is we want to grab the end of this as an editable poly and be able to stretch it. But it's just a line right now. So if I right click on this and I go to convert to editable poly, it doesn't show up. I can't do it using the tools in my quad menu like we have in the past. That doesn't mean that we are without hope. So I'm going to rotate this around and you can see that it does look like a poly here. So if we go up, we can override that by going into our modeling tab here. Under poly modeling, and there is this convert to poly. And so this is going to bake our modifier. So it's taking our rendered view in our viewport and it's going to turn it into a poly. We call that baking in 3D editing. And then that is going to get it. So once we do that, now notice all of my tools show up here. I can select polygon and I can grab my end here. All right, so what we want to do is we want to stretch this end out. So if we go to our scale tool here, let's see some things that happen. We don't want it to go like that. We want it to go flat and out, right? So I'm going to undo there. And all of these kind of work the same. Here, that's going to stretch it. So how do we fix that? Let's try in here. We're going to go under edit. Let's just make this whole bar bigger. Okay, we can do inset. And now the problem is we don't want to do a reverse inset. That's going to be confusing. So that is a bad break, and extrude doesn't work. So what should we do? So let me zoom in here. We're going to delete the end of our polygon here. So grab polygon and we're going to open this up. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to grab the border around here. This is where we can use our border tool. Okay. We haven't used it much. And if you're on a different tool, grab the scale tool. Okay. Now, once again, if I go to just normally scale this, it scales the entire shape from this last polygon to here. So we don't want to do that. But if we do a shift on here, remember how shift move clones something. What this is going to do is it's going to kind of clone the extrude, but it's going to clone the scale out. And so instead of using this, it's going to do an add-on scale. So hit shift, grab the middle of our scale tool, and you'll see that this is going to pull the base out. Okay, when we have that, now we can extrude the shape here. Let's grab the corner here, and we should be able to pull this edge out. So there's kind of a little ring here, whether you want to add that, you don't have to. And then we can go a little bit like this. And then I still have this highlighted, so I'm going to go shift scale again, and we're going to make this full size for the size of my plate. Let's do this, and then we can add a chamfer later on. So let me scale out here, a little too big, but I can take my hand off of the shift now and kind of scale it like that, and extrude out this way. Let's see how that looks when I go to the side here. And I'm going to drag this out this direction here. So where is my move tool? And okay. And so we're kind of setting up the base. If this edge is a little too big, then you can always scale this back down and have it set up like that. All right, so how does that look? Doesn't look bad. I can go now, I can grab my edge tool and we can put a chamfer on this. So if I click on one, I get off of the scale. I can do a smart loop here. I gotta go into this loop cylinder end to grab that, and we should be able to add a chamfer by setting my chamfer settings. Let's try this. We're gonna turn this up to 2. It may or may not work. I haven't done it like this. Yeah, that'll work. And we're just gonna kind of round that over a little bit. It's not exactly the same, but it kind of gives it a finished edge. And when I hit the check mark, I checked off of it. Let's go here again. Loop cylinder end, chamfer. The practice is fine. 2, and then hit my check mark to accept. And there we go. Now let's turn off our plane and see how our lamp looks. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, not too bad here. I think the only thing, if you notice, this plate doesn't really line up because it's coming off of here at 90 degrees. So we can take that. I'm going to let you see if you remember. How do you think we would rotate this? We'll have that so you can rotate that before you submit this. Oh, we'll leave off there. That's going to be a wrap for this build. Save this as a PNG file, make it your own color. You can turn off your edge faces, render it, and submit it. All right, thanks for joining me in this build. I totally look forward to seeing what you got when you turn this in, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.